You know, anybody that knows anything about planting, they know that you're going to have winners and losers.
A bill to create and regulate medical marijuana dispensaries in Hawaii made headlines this year during the state legislative session. The new law passed, and the governor does not plan to veto it. And if so, for the first time, Hawaii's medical marijuana patients will have a legal means to obtain their medicine. Exactly who will be providing the medical cannabis is yet to be determined.
I got 8 licenses on the property, so that works out to 56 plants. And so what I do is in that greenhouse over there, I have a 1,000-watt light up on a light bulb.
But one man in Mountain View is going ahead with his own plan.
And so so I use that as a stretching greenhouse, and then this is the budding greenhouse.
Mike Ruggles recently introduced Big Island Video News to the alternative pain management Pu'uhonua's Collective, a first of its kind on Hawaii Island.
I can tell you, as a collective, we've been open since January. It's going to be a very slow process. You know, we have members ranging in the hundreds.
Ruggles invited us in to take a look at the collective, which is housed on his Fern Acres property.
What you see here is underneath, like on this sour diesel, TNT, that's the farm name we're calling it. Because we don't want, you'll notice like with this sour diesel, I think we got 3 different kinds. And so these are all different members, diesel, sour diesel, sour diesel. Okay, but you'll notice these all have different, and so these are just farm names of different people using different strains like that. And so like you say, normally a member will come in, he'll look at the board, he'll be interested in something, I'll bring it over to him. Some of them are broke, so they go for the lighter. Some guys aren't worried about it, so they go for the more expensive looking stuff. And so, yeah, they'll come over, check it out, and then I'll bag it up for them. We run it through the register right here. In fact, I don't know if you can zoom in on this, but you'll see it says right here. And it shows, we got the tax, everything on there. Well, if they're smart, they'll be happy. If they're not, we can fight about it. Not only do we have selection, quality, we have a Mighty X unit coming at the end of the month, which is a way to test for CBD, THC, pesticides, stuff like that. We ordered it in January, it's finally coming in. Okay. See, once we got the Mighty X, then we'll actually be able to test. And then we'll be able to test for terpenes, THC, CBD, pathogens, stuff like that. And then we will be able to direct people towards strains. We can say, well, this is our lower THC, this is our higher THC. So depending on, our higher CBD, maybe you want terpenes, because some people use cannabis for mental health issues. See, and a mood enhancer, on terpenes, you don't actually get high. It just elevates your mood. It's an antidepressant. And so that's the thing. And in fact, we're working towards that. We'd like to get to the point where we could actually supply pure terpenes to people. So now they're not actually getting any kind of THC or CBD. It's just pure terpene, and it just makes them feel better. And so we're working towards that as well. We have ounces ranging from 125 up to 220, and so we don't set the prices. It's not like the cheaper stuff is less quality. These are just members figuring out what would be just compensation for them. So I believe I'm proud of our lower price stuff. I think it's just as good as the higher price stuff. And so what we're trying to do is get people uninterrupted supply to quality medicine, and we believe it's going to make dispensaries extinct.
The collective has been open for 6 months already, at a time when medical marijuana dispensaries are about to become legal in the state of Hawaii. But Ruggles says this is not a dispensary, and he says his collective is already operating within the confines of current law.
I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there was a law change January 2nd of this year, and the law was 329121. And what it used to say that distribution, possession, and transportation of medical marijuana was only protected between patient and caregiver. They crossed that out and they put medical use. So since that law changed, we've now opened this collective so that members, and it's a private club, but when members come down and they sign up, they can bring medicine in for consignment, and we put it on the board and then we transfer it. And so what they're doing is we're giving people a way not only to legally finally obtain the medicine they need, but also legally get rid of when they have too much. Because in our state, with the new law, you're only allowed 4 ounces. If your plant, I don't know if you guys are like me and you've been growing marijuana for a while, but you'll notice the plant doesn't listen to you when you tell it to grow just 1 ounce. Sometimes it might grow more than 1 ounce. When that happens, now you guys got a place to bring it so you don't have to go to jail. Because my story, what got me to be an activist was the police came illegally, said I was doing something wrong. They purposely misplaced 2 licenses on my property. But when they came, they weighed my marijuana, said I had 2 grams too much. And then suddenly I was facing 20 years for having a joint too much marijuana. And so now you don't have to worry about that. When you have too much marijuana, if you're not strictly following these laws, you have a safe place to bring them, because we've been bringing this up for years, which is what happens when a plant grows a 1/4 pound. You really have no alternative. You can't, if you throw it away, it's a felony. If you transport it, it's a felony, but not anymore. Now you bring it to the collective. We can transfer it for compensation. We add 20%, and then we add state tax.
Much of what Ruggles does at the collective mirrors what is being done in Colorado, where marijuana is legal even for recreational use.
Well, no, what's going on is that, like I say, is because we mirror Colorado, they seem to be doing the cutting edge technology on cannabis. And so as they make these wonderful discoveries like live terp oil and other things, the people on the other side are saying, hey, here's what we want you to do. Yes, it's recreational, but we're worried about kids getting it, so you got to have it in childproof caps. Also, they want you to have it clearly labeled, and they want you to be able to put it in they want law enforcement to actually be able to look in, but they want you to put it inside a paper bag so that other people can't see what's in there. So it's interesting. They have two requirements. One, that they can look in, but other people can't.
Ruggles is known for challenging government on medical marijuana law. Recently, the Hawaii Supreme Court upheld a lower court ruling that the lowest law enforcement priority of cannabis ordinance, approved by Hawaii Island voters by ballot initiative in 2008, was preempted by state and federal law. Ruggles is critical of the state's medical marijuana dispensary plans.
Dispensaries are never going to work. It's a centralized version to take care of 15,000 people. There's no way 8 dispensaries could, if you do the math and if you have any kind of business sense, you'll realize there's no way these guys are going to be able to compete with the collective. Because what we have is, as you can see, we have variety. We have quality, because the dispensary, they're trying to make money. What this is excess medicine that people spared no expense in growing because it was their medicine. And so our stuff is way better, plus it's been grown outdoors, in our fine Hawaiian sun. And so it's going to be way better. Plus, you don't have the security issues. Our patients are spread out, 5,000 of them all around the island, although most of them are in Puna. So you don't have security, they can't come rip it. There's not large sums of money here, because once medicine is transferred, it goes back to the patient, and I'm sure he runs right downtown and spends it. And so that's another point I want to bring up, which is our money stays in the community. Plus, they get their tax. What they got going with the dispensary system, they got a $70,000 permit, and then they want to add a 25% tax. This kind of stuff will never fly unless they give people a reason to come off of the black market. And so that means either financial or quality, or better variety. Unless they can give them a reason to come off of the black market, they're never going to do it.
This isn't a perfect world. This isn't a perfect bill. And as we say, the perfect is the enemy of the good, and this is a good bill. It will help a lot of people. It's a compassionate bill, and it's a step in the right direction.
Oh, we had over 5 great bills, and all the good ones got totally just cut out. And then this 329 just got slowly changed.
A constituent of mine dropped this off in my front yard the other week. And I want to show the House of Representatives what medical marijuana, when properly done, looks like. It comes sealed with all of the trappings of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the state of Colorado warnings. It is in prescription bottle form. It is not the baggie that we learned back in the 60s or 70s. This allows those who really need it to be able to use a drug that they need as a drug.
By legalizing the commercial growing and selling of marijuana and marijuana products, albeit for medicinal purposes, we are bringing a new enterprise to Hawaii's shores, and it will be equal to or greater than the effect upon Hawaii's people than the harvesting of sandalwood or whaling in the 1800s.
The biggest concern is they got to grow indoors, because I believe this is going to be their death throw, because if they can't compete with quality cannabis being grown by other patients, then no way, no one's ever going to go in there and buy their bunk. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be indoor bunk. So I understand they have security issues. That's why they're trying to make them grow indoor. But come on, you can put security on a greenhouse as well. Nowadays, we got great technology. You can put cameras in your greenhouse. That was a silly move. And like I say, a lot of these things that they're putting in these dispensary law, it's a knee-jerk reaction to stuff that will never happen. See, like they add all these punitive measures because they're trying to stop diversion, because they think so. Like a medical patient is going to go buy an ounce in a dispensary and then sell it on the street. That'll never happen in a million years. Why? Because pot on the street goes for 100 an ounce and they're paying 1,000. So, see what I mean? So why are they putting in all these stupid measures to stop diversion when it will never happen? There's no such thing. Puna is poverty-stricken. Everybody over here is way below the national average when it comes to income. And so there's no way anybody in Puna is going to be able to afford a $1,000 ounce at some dispensary. So until insurance company, that's what we want to have them say, because that eventually means like a $2 billion year contract. Until insurance companies are going to pay for it, we get to grow our own. So we believe that means virtually forever.
And we're talking about the $5,000 non-refundable fee for application. We're requiring a $1 million asset amount for anyone submitting an application. We are getting a dispensing licensing fee of $75,000 and a $50,000 annual renewal fee. Hey, this is a lot of money just to provide patient care. We could have done it through Long's Drugs and through some of the others. Much easier, much sooner.
You got legislators that mean well, and they're relying on their experts. Only their experts have never used cannabis, never ran a business, know nothing about it, but yet they're setting policy on stuff they know nothing about.
The details for the dispensaries on Hawaii Island still need to be worked out. But in the meantime, Ruggles is offering a fresh alternative to alternative pain management.
Well, these kids are really good at that. That's another thing as we notice, is you put it in glass jars, not only does it protects it better, because it won't deteriorate as fast. And so that's what we do, is like, we try to keep fresh stuff up here. See, for us, it's all about the members. And so we let the people sign when members come and they put stuff up here. They sign a little agreement that says, hey man, if your stuff goes south, well, you got to just come back and grab it. See what I mean? And so, because that's what a lot of people don't ever bring up, which is cannabis is time-sensitive medicine. It's like any other plant that you're going to buy at a produce market. After a while, you fall out the window of opportunity. See what I mean? And I don't believe these dispensaries are going to do that. You know, they got 6,000 plants. They grow 3,000 pounds. Obviously, they're not going to sell all that in the first month. So now what? You're buying old stuff. And they're not going to throw any of that stuff away. See what I'm saying? And so I believe you're really going to have a lot of quality issues with the dispensary. Plus monocropping. The real problem with monocropping is that after a while, the bugs figure it out. And so they're going to have to increasingly add more pesticides. That's why we're getting the Mighty X tester. These guys better be able to pass muster on their pesticide use.